Dear students, I hope you are enjoying with your family, but now it's study time. In this session, we will start with chapter number 2 of economics, that is indicators of growth and development. We start first with the introduction, which says that most important objective of every country is to achieve economic development. Policies are made keeping development at the center. So we can say that developing countries tried to solve the problems like poverty, unemployment, hunger deaths, etc. It can be said that awareness level of developing countries towards attainment of development increased since developing countries started trying to reduce the gap in per capita income with developed countries and to increase the standard of living through economic development. So the aim of developing countries was to improve the standard of living of people, whereas the aim of developed countries was to maintain the prevailing higher standard of living. Means we can say that aim of developed countries was to maintain and increase already attained growth rate. Hence we can say that economic growth is related to developed countries, whereas development is related to developing countries. Now these two terms, that is growth and development, became popular after Second World War of 1939-1944. Now previously, that is in the past, these two words, growth and development, were used interchangeably. But few economists have always considered these two terms as different terms. So we will start with the meaning of economic growth. Now, economic growth relates to long run increase in total output of the economy. Total output of the economy means total increase in quantity of goods produced in the economy. Economic growth rate is a continuous increase in real national income and real per capita income, that is per person's income. Now we can increase the production easily by increasing the supply of 4 factors of production. Yes, the 4 factors of production you all know: land, capital, labor and entrepreneur. By increasing the productivity of these 4 factors, we can increase the production. Now, economic growth takes into consideration only quantitative changes, that is increase in output and gross national output, through which country's economic status is depicted. It also helps in comparative evaluation of economies of two countries. Now let us move on to the definition. Professor Hansen says that economic growth refers to growth rate of national income or rise in quantum of goods and services. Now rise in total quantum of goods and services means rise in total quantity of goods and services. Simon Kuznets says that a long run increase in capacity of a country to supply diverse economic goods to its people is known as economic growth. Diverse economic goods means different kind of economic goods. When a country is able to supply for a long term, then it is known as economic growth. Now let us move on to the limitations of economic growth. Now, economic growth takes into consideration only quantitative changes. Qualitative changes are not included over here. Only increase in output is included over here. The next limitation is it takes into consideration increase in national income and per capita income, but institutional and psychological factors remain as before. Now, institutional factors means banking system, financial infrastructure of a country remains the same. It means a person won't be able to get the loan easily. Next is psychological factors. Psychological factors means human thinking that affects decision making. So over here, the human thinking remains the same. There is no change in institutional factors and psychological factors. The third one is the concept is very narrow. The concept is narrow as it doesn't takes into consideration the qualitative changes. It takes into consideration only rise in the rate and extent of output. Fourth one is the concept of growth is not of much use in understanding the welfare of the people. Over here, we won't be able to understand the welfare of the people properly. So this was all about growth. Now we move on to economic development. Economic development is a process which is continuous to achieve well-being. Now this is a long-term process. Why it is a long-term process? Because it includes economic growth, economic welfare and economic progress. That is why it is said to be continuous process as well as wide process. Economic development, there is increase in national income and real per capita income, plus quantitative changes are also seen along with qualitative changes. So we can say that development is a multi-dimensional process, because over here changes are seen, not only quantitative but also qualitative changes are seen. The contribution of agriculture sector as a percentage of total national income slowly over here decreases. The contribution of rest of the two sectors start increasing. The people, those who were disguisedly unemployed in agriculture sector, start getting employment in rest of the two sectors. Modern technology is used over here. New seeds, hybrid seeds are used in agriculture sector. That is why it is said that qualitative changes are also seen in economic development. Poverty, unemployment start reducing when development takes place. There are institutional changes also. It means such policies are made which makes a person easy to get loan from banks. Next we move on to the definition given by Michael Todaro, which says that economic development is a multidimensional process. Very simple definition, because yes, as I said earlier, it takes into consideration not only quantitative but also qualitative changes are seen over here. Next we move on to the characteristics of economic development. Now economic development is a continuous process. We are supposed to move on in a predetermined order and direction. No doubt it is a slow but it is a strong process. We know the path as the policies are made, we know the direction. So that is why it is said that it is a predetermined process. The process of development is usually fast initially but slows down over a period of time. With the passage of time, the speed reduces. Next is quantitative and qualitative changes. Quantitative changes, yes, we have already seen that the output of the country increases, plus the quality of the products also improve, because over here, as I gave you the example, farmers will be able to use hybrid seeds which will improve the quality of the crops. Next is change in demand. Now there is rise in income of the people, because slowly and gradually their income will increase, their standard of living will increase, the distribution of income will become equal. So their demand will also change. They will demand more for comforts and luxurious goods. Fourth one is labor becomes more dynamic. Now as there are changes coming in the society, that is institutional changes and psychological changes, the literacy rate, the education level of the labor will also increase, which will make him more dynamic. Next is increase in capital formation. Now development leads to increase in demand for different commodities as the income of the society is increasing. So new enterprises come forward, because of which the investment also increases and hence the capital formation increases. Next is change in technology. Yes, the technology slowly and gradually will change, it will improve. So the example over here is there is shift in dependence from fire and water based technology to coal and iron based technology. Last is it is self motivating. As we see that our income is increasing, we are developing, so obviously it will be motivating for us. Next topic is limitations of concept of economic development. Now economic development indicates the progress of a nation. It shows the economic scenario, but in real sense it is not possible to discuss human development. We can't be sure that the people have developed. The next limitation is it is difficult to measure. Economic development includes those changes which have happened in the society, and it is very difficult to measure these kind of changes. The third and last one is when economic development takes place, it is said that the standard of living of the people improves. But in countries like India, we don't see much of the improvement in standard of living of the people. So that is why we can't be sure that the standard of living of the people will increase. That's in today's session, students. Thank you. We'll see you soon.